Our first speaker is Mr. Muhammad Muslim bin Mansour, Forensic Analyst of Shell Corporation. He is recently honored with Asia Pacific Information Security Leadership Achievement ISLA Award 2012 for Information Security Practitioner category from ISC2. He used to be a certified Easy Council instructor and have been awarded as Instructor Circle of Excellence of the Year 2011 and Instructor of the Year 2012 from Global Award Easy Council. He frequently acts as lead security consultant to various forensics investigations and security posture assessment exercises for government agencies, banks, and small medium industry SMEs across Asia Pacific. We would like to show you a video teaser as a summary of his speech.
We live in remarkable times. Never before have we been so connected. Never before have we had the opportunity to share our ideas, thoughts, and feelings with people around the world with such ease and speed. All thanks to this, the smartphone. Did you know that the smartphone now outsells the PC? 49% of smartphones shipped in 2011 were running Google Android, and Apple sold almost 70 million iOS devices in the first 3 months of 2012 alone. Android sees 850,000 devices activated every single day. By the end of 2011, over 35 billion mobile apps were downloaded.
Now, ceremony invite the first speaker, Mr. Muhammad Muslim bin Mansour, for Forensic Analyst Shell Corporation with the title Challenge in Smartphone Forensic. Please welcome.
Auzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and very good morning. Thank you so much, our beloved Miss MC for today. My honorable advisor of ISAS, Dr. Najwa Hayati Muhammad Alwi, my beloved director, program director Muhammad Afifi bin Muhammad Safi'i, PERNET representative, professors, lecturers from various universities, Tati, APU, UTM, UITM, and I believe we have one from a group from Sarawak. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much for USIM inviting me for the third time in ISAS. That was quite a pleasant experience for me for the last few years being here since 2010. Just checking. Okay, so just this morning I would like to actually share a bit about challenges in mobile forensics. The title originally given to me was focusing on smartphone, especially I think the teasers just now focus purely on what we are focusing on Android and also iOS, Apple, but again I will actually see that there are tons of other devices which is not smartphone, tablets. I just actually changed it to a mobile forensics in general perspective first. So I would like to actually just go for, I guess, for the next slide. Is it working? Okay, all right. So topics that I would like to cover today will be a bit general on the evolution of mobile technology. As Miss MC just mentioned just now, we actually have an opportunity to also highlight some of question that we would like at the end of the session. I will just actually share one question for you, and that will be generally from the presentation. So hopefully you could actually win one of the prizes from this session. So we try to actually cover on the evolution of mobile technologies and then also a mobile forensics insight. And after that, I will just highlight a bit on the technical part of mobile forensic itself. They call as a challenge, but for technical guys, that will be or technical ladies, that will be a fun part of it. Technically, you might actually deal with that. You might actually try to crack your head to figure out how to actually fix this and so on. And we try to actually look a bit on the approach towards the challenge and a summary to the mobile forensic challenge itself. So how many of us here do not have a mobile phone? Just please raise up your hand. That will be much more easier, but I hardly see anyone. Anyone do not have a mobile phone? No? Anyone have two mobile phones in the left or right pocket? Because that would be a generic one. I saw a lot of people nowadays, one human with at least two mobile phones. So this is actually common. That's where you might not have one human with two computers, although I have two laptops with me and one iPad and one mobile phone. Actually two, one is switched off and another one is switched on. So yeah, but that is actually become common human living with a gadget itself. Why? It's a bit interesting, a culture itself. People tend to actually do selfie. It's actually one of a competition, I guess, to actually make fun of, try to actually highlight what would be a best part of ISAS 14 now. You might actually go for Instagram of a selfie. That would be a common thing. This one becoming common, although awkward. Every time you order the food coming in, you take a photo first before. So I guess like it's becoming another culture. Before you actually eat your food, you're supposed to recite a prayer. But now you also take a photo first and then you recite a prayer, then you start eating. So that might be actually one of another culture changes compared to a different generation to different generation. But a common one, others will start actually browsing, and a common mobile phone is supposed to be using as a communication itself. So due to this culture, people start to actually change how they live and their dependency on the mobile phone itself. That will be one of the things we might actually face. Another interesting challenge is that how many of you remember your friend's mobile number? Or you 100% rely on your mobile phone to store that. So that will be another things that we will see, that you have hundreds friends, you have hundreds mobile phone numbers that you need to memorize, and everything is stored on the mobile phone itself instead of in your memory. Okay, so these slides I took from one of a source. I cited the source itself. It's actually an evolution of mobile technology. It was a bit interesting. If let's say you remember, I was a former reserve military before this. We always try to actually queue or make a line in a proper, maybe the highest at the left side and the shortest at the right side, or the other way around. But what happened is that if let's say you realize the evolution of mobile phone, it used to be big, bulky, a brick size, and then move towards getting smaller, smaller. There was a time in 2005, 2006, everyone predict maybe in 2012 or 2014, the mobile phone is like very small. But unfortunately, it become bigger again. So you will actually realize even Apple, they used to, the former Steve Jobs already said that the ideal size for mobile phone is actually 4-inch before this. But after that, they start to actually go with iPhone 6, which is bigger. So it's actually follow the stream. So again, people are actually adopting from a smaller size, then they realize, no, we need a bigger screen, we need a bigger size, just fit enough for your palm and the rest of other things. Not only the size evolve, I will also say which is a capability also evolve. last time, during this type of mobile phone, you can only make a call. The coverage is superb. You can actually get access almost everywhere. I think during that time was GSM or 1G network 011, 010. You might actually get that access. So what happened, the capability is only to make a call. You can't do a short messaging. You can't really take a photo with that, but purely on accessing the voice capability. Coming to this feature, you start to actually have access to SMS, and then after that, MMS evolution. There was a time where camera and a color screen is actually coming to the play, so therefore, during that time, you will actually realize everyone start to actually do a video call. I remember the first video call service was 2004. During that time, I was still in Telekom Malaysia. So it was a bit funny because the charge for video call was 15 cents per minute. So then I tend to actually do a video call to my wife just to actually feel the technology itself. But after a while, you start thinking back, should I do that? Why later? Exactly after 5:30, I'm going back again, then see my wife. So why during the office hour, I still want to do a video call and let everyone see via the phone itself how my wife is actually look like during that time and so on. So she might actually in the office, that's okay, but she might also be at home without tudungs and the rest of other things, so that would be a bit troublesome. There was actually an advertisement, I remember in 2005 in UK, to promote this service of a video call. So what happened is that there was a advertisement, a guy actually walking in the shopping mall. Suddenly, the phone ring. He saw the screen of the phone. He start run away to that. The suspense part is they don't actually show yet why he ran. So he keep running to every section of the shopping mall until he found one section. He jumped on the bed and he actually hiding under the blanket, and he pick up the call. That is his boss, and he said that sorry because he MC today, so he's supposed to be at home because he claimed to be MC, but that is a video call from the boss. Then he need to actually find a bed and he need to hiding under the blanket so that it show that he's actually really sick and not really pretending and in a shopping mall. So that was actually an evolution. But interestingly, during that time also there was actually a few things in terms of forensic that trigger me to actually dig up more in terms of mobile phone forensics. I will actually share on that because of that evolution too. And this rise until now, the capability of mobile phone itself is already almost at par or even exceeds some computer. You actually get a mobile phone with 1 gig RAM. You have a dual core chip. You might have a quad core chip, and with a quad core graphic cards. So that is actually very advanced of mobile technology. Not only on mobile phone, another challenge is actually the size of a smart SIM card is actually becoming smaller and smaller, and the size of a SIM card is getting bigger. So the storage on the SIM card, you can actually store more data. So it used to be a normal SIM, go to micro SIM and nano SIM. Thanks to Apple, who actually keep pushing for difference in terms of the evolution for that and the rest. Okay, so just a quick one on the mobile phone forensics. So it's actually referred to the arts of forensic science, where you try to actually analyze mobile device, mobile network, in order to actually preserve, identify, preserve, acquire, analyze the evidence. The truth one is actually by who or by crew, everything about forensics is for you to actually go as a legal evidence. So you can, it's actually a fun job to actually extract every data from the mobile device, extract the data from mobile network, but if it cannot stand to a legal evidence, so it's actually useless. So that will be one of the things. So that will be leading to how you're going to actually process it well, acquire it well, and preserve it well in order to actually let it be admissible in court or admissible in an administrative hearing. So source of evidence, you might actually get it from the mobile device itself. On the mobile device itself, you have a mobile device, which is a big storage nowadays. What is the biggest storage nowadays on the mobile device? New iPhone 6 is, what is the biggest size? 128. Any mobile device that have 256 GB? No, there might be. I might not know. That is actually maybe in the some of China phones. We might not actually see that. Okay, SIM or USIM. You might also get a source of evidence from a mobile network itself. So we have actually HLR. We don't really cover this that detail this time. We have a home location register where you can actually go with Celcom or DG or ISP and ask for their for cellular operator, ask for this number, who belong to, what is the register address, when was the last bill paid, and the rest of other things that is inside HLR or home location register. We do have VLR, visitor location register, where now I'm from Melaka coming to Nilai. So my phone, in order for somebody to call me and able to reach me in Nilai, so it's actually update the cell tower that Muslim is now sitting in Nilai, and therefore they actually kept the location that Muslim now is under this coverage of a base station. So that will be what we call as VLR. Every time you move from one station to another station, that is also a good source of evidence, especially in the case of, anyone remember a high-profile case of Al-Tantuya? So there was claimed to be killed in one hill by a cop. So I'm not actually highlighting on the case itself, but I want to actually highlight about one of a source of evidence. They're going to actually, they was identifying either the police who have been accused to kill Al-Tantuya is actually residing at the hill itself, because he might bring his mobile phone. And there are a few cases that people try to build up alibi by actually leave the phone at home and go somewhere else and make a call to himself and let the phone auto pick up and let the call ringing, call hell for half an hour and so that it's actually claimed that he was talking to somebody else during that he's actually doing that in such of a manner. So that is actually one of a source of VLR. So coming for this is actually from a cellular network perspective, but other networks might have logs too. Then we have another thing is that some mobile phones are excluding iOS type of device or iDevice. Apple doesn't support external storage, but you have Android device or other phones that you can actually put in micro SD, SD card or MMC card. So that will be one of the source for that. Okay, so what type of cases we might deal with a mobile forensics? It could be in US, in Australia. A biggest case for most of my friends who are working in the law enforcement will be child pornography. So there are tons of cases whereby solicited or serial rapists or sexual sadists, they actually take a photo, they start actually uploading to the internet, they are actually sharing that to among the friends. It could be a sexual harassment. I'm not actually highlighting about child pornography only, but there are also pornography. Remember, I was highlighting there was evolution in 2004 about a camera, mobile phone with a camera and a colored screen. So we did a research in 2004, try to actually extract a pornographic video over the internet and try to identify the source and the uniqueness of the video, because we don't want the same video that have been like uploaded as a 3GP, after that been modified as AVI and rename it, and after that claim to be, oh, this is a different video. No, we try to actually identify it. Throughout 2004 to 2006, found out almost 5,000 locally made video from Malaysia itself from that. So it's a very sad news. That one is a project that we did before this, just to identify from Malaysia. So it's a bit hard also to get the whole coverage, but we managed to actually get that from some of the shops, some of the internet source during that time, RapidShare, Mediafire, and the rest of other sources has actually been one of the source for that. Sexual harassment, cyber stalking, this will be one of another capability of a mobile phone itself. One of another thing, although it's not seems to be common for us, and another time is actually becoming a big hype from the US itself. It's about the bomb trigger device, but it's a reality that a mobile phone, either any sides of it, they might actually use a mobile phone as a bomb trigger device, and that leads to us to actually identify this is actually one of a source of evidence that we need to actually investigate. In 2008, there was actually a presentation by one of a speaker in Hack in the Box. They actually, if you actually dig up, if I'm not mistaken, was 2008, hacking from a toilet. Because of they want to actually share the capability of mobile phone itself. You can actually hack everything by using mobile phone. So you can actually just use your mobile phone, pretend to be using a public toilet or company's or organization toilet. Example, you want to actually hack ABC organization. You go to the reception counter, ask for their toilet because you want to sit there for longer time, and actually using a mobile phone toilet to actually just hacking to their network and so on. So it could be also for hacking activities and malware spreading or email spamming for that as a mobile phone itself. But it's not there. Mobile phone is always also as a source of investigation in a financial crime. There are tons of credit card frauds or transaction, bank transaction. You might lead towards getting a TAC and the rest of other things that leads to that. Money laundry. There are a lot of money laundry activity. They still communicating with SMS to actually identify this. I transfer this certain amount of money and so on. IP infringement. In my work nowadays, I'm actually dealing with some of possibilities people stealing confidential information, not by stealing the information, not by scanning the information, but taking a photo of that document. So you might actually lead towards that. There are a lot of private intellectual property, or it could be like UPSR lead question before this, somebody actually taking a photo and start to spread it via WhatsApp, and that leads to your mobile device becoming a source of evidence in this type of cases. And there still be a traditional crime like drug trafficking, murder, kidnapping. There was a case whereby kidnappers need to actually show that they kidnapped the kids and the kids is still alive, thus they need to take a video of that. And when they rush, they need to actually identify either that video was coming from that phone or is coming from another phone, Bluetooth transferred to that phone, and the rest of other things too. So what kind of a mobile evidentiary? You might go with videos for sexual cases, for intellectual property, videos, photos becoming a big culture. With a big highest resolution on mobile itself, a lot of people actually taking photos using mobile device. It's becoming a high resolution camera. You actually have a browsing history. Sorry, I think I think was cut through. Phone books, appointment and reminder. This will be one of an interesting source of evidence. Password wallet. A lot of people do not memorize your password anymore. They tend to actually either use single password for everything, which is very bad. I really hope you don't do that. One password for Maybank and that's password for everything. No, that is not working. But there are people who actually start to become IT savvy, security literate. So what happened is that they start to actually have a password wallet application. It could be any type of password, maybe password vault or anything. Then you start actually store everything in your mobile phone or mobile device. Every time you need to access Maybank, what is my password for Maybank? You open a password wallet, see that, copy and paste. That will be the whole idea. All right, GPS log. That is beautiful part. How many of you use Waze or Google Map? So you might actually search for location. You might using that all the time, traveling here and there, using that. Everything is logged. So we are using that as a source of, are you traveling on this date to this destination for that? So it's a good advice for bad guys, which is not here, but just actually highlighting to people here is that do not use your GPS when you do crime activity. That is actually very bad source of things. But yeah, that is good for us to actually investigate. Bluetooth and Wi-Fi logs, call record logs, and the rest of other things. Okay, so how to handle mobile forensic device or mobile evidence? So you need to handle it with care. Most of the time, remember, we are not the only forensic guys in the world. These are only for digital forensics. So we are taking a mobile phone. Make sure you wear a rubber glove taking a mobile phone, because there is also a fingerprint. Mobile device is so easy to be transferred from one person to another person that if, let's say, somebody sent an SMS from my phone, I can always claim that it's not sent by me. I was sleeping during that time. Maybe somebody else framing me. So therefore, we need to actually make sure that there are physical forensics also. Either anyone else have a fingerprint on your mobile device or not. So that is actually one of the source. Or it could be a blood. Maybe the old type of mobile phone with a brick size you throw to somebody's head, then that becomes a physical evidence of that. So remember, handle it with care, avoid physical forensics tampering. Taking a photo of a mobile device before you collect it, one of our famous big mistakes that people do is actually, when they seize mobile device, they forgot to seize data cable. Why they say that? No, no worries, I'm actually in the lab. I have various type of data cable that suits various type of mobile phone. No, but the best advice always, when you have a warrant to raid or seize specific mobile device, request together with a power cable and request with a data cable. You might not know either is fit or not. So better you actually request for the whole set. By hook or by crook, you are getting that mobile, you are getting that power the best, get the whole data cables also. Record the whole device info, but this one is important. Never shut down the device if the device is on. So when we're dealing with a mobile device, the device is on, never shut it off, but you need to actually keep it on and actually make sure that it's actually continuously running until you're able to extract the content out of it. So how you want to actually keep it running? The beautiful part of a current technology, multiple mobile device, I so-called as multiple mobile device. Why? Because there are tons of people now bringing mobile device with two more looks like mobile device, not mobile device, is a power bank. So you can always bring a power bank to actually keep the juice of a power to that mobile device. So you bring multiple power bank or external power source to the mobile device, charge it, so that is avoiding that from that until you extract the whole data out. One thing, you need to isolate the mobile device from network. This is a biggest challenge because of it's not that easy, but a smartphone nowadays have a capability of aeroplane mode. So you just switch it off to aeroplane mode or turn it off to aeroplane mode. So therefore it won't actually able to actually disturb the whole communication. Why? Just imagine from criminal perspective, if my mobile is being raided and there is a forensic investigator sitting there, what I will do is that I will start actually sending SMS, fake SMS, make a call from public phone to actually pump in all the data so that it will actually start overwritten all data. So some phone can only keep like latest 100 latest missed call, or maybe 50 missed call, or 10 missed call only. So what happened is that let me make more missed call so that it can erase the last missed call, that it could be evidence. So therefore you need to isolate it from a network itself. How to do that? There are technologies like Faraday's bag. You can also clone a SIM card and use SIM, and after that put a fake clone SIM card so that it will not connect to any 3G network or Cellcom or Maxis network, so that it will be isolated from wireless network, or the best switch off also on the airplane or flight mode. So that will be the whole idea. And last but not least, do not attempt to do any acquisition, do not attempt to do any analysis on any mobile device unless you understand the technology behind it. We're going to talk a bit more after that. Okay, so this is how the Faraday's box looks like. You can always put the mobile device. When you put the Faraday's box, some of the mobile device cannot reach to any wireless signal. The problem with this is that if you not turn on into a flight mode, or maybe some of the phone like 3210 or 3310, there is no feature of flight mode. When you put in a Faraday's board, unfortunately, they keep searching for wireless signal. The more they're searching for wireless signal, the quicker the battery depleted. So therefore, you need to also have an external source of power so that it can actually charging it continuously. It's not, then you might not sustain until you actually move to your office and so. Or you have a Faraday's bag like this, then they will actually try to block certain signal, GSM signal, Wi-Fi signal, and the rest of other things. All right, next. One of a challenge is actually to get into a mobile acquisition. So based on one of a publication coming from Brothers in 2009, but after that this was being cited in many places, and one of a good book that I really recommend is coming from Heather, one of a SANS mobile forensic guru. She published a book called Practical Mobile Forensics. So I extract this from her book, but it's actually originally coming from Brothers in 2009. So what happened is that we have actually 5 types of mobile forensic acquisition. The lowest one, which is a manual extraction. The process of manual extraction is this. You are actually using a device with a camera, and you actually unlock it and record it on manual basis. The option that we use this manner is because of we do not have a mobile forensic devices during that time, so you might actually use, or the technology does not support for that new brand. For example, if anyone queue for iPhone 6 and got your iPhone 6 now, and suddenly you make, and your iPhone 6 becoming a source of evidence in one of a criminal cases or forensic cases. So what happened is that we do not have a forensic tools to actually support that. And in order to analyze this, during this time, we need to actually just use a manual extraction. Turn on your mobile phone, have a camera, start to swipe, go to your SMS. If we want to look for SMS record, go to your WhatsApp, and then everything is recorded via a mobile, a video camera or a photo continuously and so on. So you might actually get this kind of, you might to have this kind of access or this kind of access with a camera, then put a mobile device onto that one for the access itself. Second one will be a logical analysis. The idea of logical analysis is that you try to connect the mobile device to the computer or mobile forensic tools, extract it at the file system layer. You actually get the whole data. You might not get deleted data, but again depend. Some of SQLite data you might get it, but some of the different type of files which is being deleted at this layer, logical analysis layer, you might not able to get a deleted data. One challenge of using this is that there are tons of data interface for mobile phone. How many of you familiar with what current interface on iPhone 5 onwards or iPhone 4S onwards? They are using something like this. I forgot what was the name. Lightning. So they are also using a 30-pin, the older one that was for 3GS, 3GS, iPad 2, iPad 1 below. You might get this one for Nokia. You might get this one also for Nokia. You might get this for Sony Ericsson and the rest of other things. You just imagine as a forensic investigator, you might need to carry 140 different cables for different data interface. You might not know which type of mobile device you are dealing with. And so therefore there are different data interface you might need dealing with different type of data cables. Okay. Next process is actually a hex dump. A hex dump is actually a process whereby you try to actually dump it, the whole, instead of a logical, but you're actually able to extract the whole memory of data. But in order to do that, you need to actually get a cooperation from a forensics, mobile phone manufacturer in order for you to load a custom code or a custom bootloader in order to actually do certain access for that. So I think in order to actually to share more details, I just actually show a quick video on this. So then we actually try to actually have a quick look. Then after that, we try to go for that. So,
With you.
yep, okay. So this video courtesy from Cellbrite. This is actually one of the thing. Does it? The one.
With UFID Touch, it is now possible to quickly and easily disable the passwords, pin locks and pattern locks of Samsung Android devices. This feature supports Samsung Android devices that use
So this is a
cable
different
number
cable
130.
to support that Samsung.
This feature is available in versions 1.8 and up. So make sure your UFID version is up to date in the version settings tab. To disable the code lock of a Samsung Android device, tap password extraction. Select the vendor.
So
from
there
the
are
list,
tons of
in this case,
different model.
Samsung,
So you
CDMA,
need to
or
really know
TCL.
which model you are dealing with manufacturer
Select
you're
your
dealing
phone
with,
type.
which model you are dealing with. So for this case, they try to actually do a custom load
In the
of a
extraction location
firmware
window,
in
tap
order to actually
display
bypass
only.
the
Read
pattern
and follow the
recognition
device's
or
connection
swipe
instructions
recognition
carefully.
or lock.
For example, to connect the SGH T499, remove and then insert the battery. Connect cable 130 to the source port. Press and hold the volume up key. Connect the phone to the cable and only release the key once the screen turns on.
Okay, so that will be a custom firmware
continue.
load onto the phone itself. Then that leads
UFID
to the
Touch
phone
will
to be
ask you
bypassed.
To insert a random password, PIN, or pattern lock to the device. Click Continue. Your Samsung Android's lock code is now disabled. Enter any random lock code and the device will open.
Okay, so again, this is actually one of the forensic capabilities using Cellbrite. Again, that is not that much easy because of for forensic manufacturer tools, they need to actually keep update with what is the latest mobile device. So as of now, that bypass only works until Samsung Galaxy S4. Unfortunately, Samsung Galaxy S5 is not there yet. So every time a newer phone coming in, people getting a newer phone, they might do a criminal on a newer phone. Forensic investigator might not able to have access to that because we need, in order to access or in order to actually load a custom code or bootloader, we need to actually deal with a manufacturer permission and actually get access to the technology and so. Another techniques is actually using acquisition from a memory dump, memory dump. So you can actually remove the chips and try to extract the whole data. It's a destructive procedure, but it works for some mobile device which is already burned or already been smashed, or you might not want to return the mobile device back to the subject or suspect. So that will be the whole idea. So the technique is that you need to actually chip off, or you need to actually tap at the certain key of the chip. You need to use a JTAG technology, JTAG technique coming from a joint test action group, whereby you try to access the chip on the mobile device and after that try to actually extract the data out for that. One of a famous institution in the world who actually focus more on this technology is NFI, Netherlands Forensic Institute. They really dig up into this since 2007, 2006 for the JTAG techniques for the mobile device. And last but not least, although we hardly see this much, one of another technique is actually going for micro read. Micro chip read is actually whereby you try to actually take the chip, but not only taking the chip like a chip off just now, but this time you try to predict what is the state of the gate itself. Remember, one chip has 1,000 transistor, 1,000 gate. You try to predict what will be the content inside there, what are the current value state and the rest of other things. Again, as of now, no commercial tools for this technique. It's a very exhaustive, but it really works for certain older phones, maybe like, for example, Nokia, that have been used for bomb triggering and the rest of other things. So not only that challenge, for acquisition, we have mobile security challenge. Remember, we have every mobile user want to make sure their mobile is secure. We have a pin onto your SIM and USIM. But again, if you do not know what is the PIN code, remember, if you mistakenly put your PIN, your SIM card has been locked, you can always enter the PUK. So therefore, for forensic investigator, we can always request a PUK code from PUK code from operator. Traditional phone, they do have a PIN, but they do not have a device encryption, which is not much a headache for us. But a newer smartphone and a tablet, they not only have a PIN, some of them have a passcode, some of them has a swipe code. A newer one start to actually have a biometric. Samsung S5 has a biometric, although they have a optional secondary password. iPhone has a biometric also. And then most of these phones also have a hardware encryption. So unfortunately, your device are not only with a PIN lock, but it's actually the whole thing are actually hardware encrypted. So, and they might also go with an external storage encryption. We try to actually see for this a quick one. So that's what you will see is that we actually have a news coming from CNET mid of this year in August. So there was actually in July they was discussing from Avast Android phone wipes. When you go for factory wipe, it doesn't delete a personal data. It's a good news for forensic investigator. No, unfortunately not. What happened is that Avast realized their analysis when they actually analyze the phone, most of the phone do not enable hardware encryption. So for those who use Android and enable security, go to hardware encryption, what happened is that your mobile device is encrypted when you go with a factory reset, or in iPhone you go with a clear content or delete content. That means they do not delete the whole phone. It will take longer time. They will just delete an encryption key. So they have a full phone, is all the content is encrypted with one key. That key is encrypted with your PIN. So in order for you to unlock it, every time you put your PIN is not to decrypt the whole content, it's to decrypt the key. And that key is to decrypt the content of the phone. When they wipe the key only. You cannot actually decrypt the whole content of the phone. It's useless also for that. So it's unfortunately bad news for forensic investigator. All right. What else? You might have a failed login attempt. You might have a remote wipe feature. We have tons of encrypted backup. And as I mentioned just now, we do have a code signing and secure implementation in iOS, in Android, in BlackBerry. Thus, it's avoid custom bootloader. We always behind this few steps of a manufacturer. So this is an example of an external storage encryption. This, if you can actually see, is coming from Android SD. The WhatsApp message was encrypted, but because of, if you know the key or you know the PIN, what happened, you can decrypt it with a free tools like WhatsApp Extract. Is a free tools, open source, shared by one of the guy. You can always read the more research coming from caseIT.com. This is actually coming from Yogahan Casey, one of mobile forensic guru out there. What happened is that, unfortunately, the same technology, but running on BlackBerry. BlackBerry also encrypt SD card, but for BlackBerry, you cannot actually decrypt it for the SD card unless you can actually bypass the first for certain older BlackBerry. So thus, you might need to do manual extraction using a camera, browsing it, WhatsApp, taking a photo one by one, what is a message manually. Instead, for this one, you can always try to actually extract it and analyze it. So my last slides, so a challenge summary, a fast evolution of mobile phone technology, we cannot keep up. There are tons of newer phones coming in. Forensic investigator, we need to keep up with technology. We need to keep up with the forensic tools to support such technologies. That will always be a problem. most of forensic tools are always 5 steps behind or more. So therefore, because of a trade secret of mobile manufacturer, they don't want to share how to actually bypass certain of a custom load, custom loader, bootloader, and the rest of other things. So that would be one of a challenge. Other challenge would be various security feature introduced in a mobile device to protect user privacy. But again, forensic always try to defeat that. So therefore, that would be the whole challenge. I do not discuss other enemy of forensics like steganography and anti-forensic research in this presentation because I did cover that last year. But again, there are tons of other steganography to stegano or hidden a certain message in our mobile photos and the rest of other things. Anti-forensic research, there are tons of that. We haven't covered that. But this one is more than enough already to highlight. This is actually one of the areas that we need to focus more to actually develop more in terms of our mobile forensic technology. So with that, I thank everyone for this. Any question before I open one question for you? I think we can take one question. Is it? Yeah, can. Can.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
I'm Nur Rahim Syamsuddin from Fakulti Kepimpinan dan Pengurusan. Then I just want to ask you a question. What happen if we rooting our phone device? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Interesting question. What happen if you root or you jailbreak your phone? In terms of security, it's actually a bad practice unless you know what you are doing. So because there are one of the reason for normal user, they try to avoid you to install unknown malicious tools or anything. So therefore they try to come out with a protection or boundary or unrooted or jail capability of environment. So that is actually for your security purposes. What if you actually rooted? So it's a bad practice in terms of security unless you know what you're doing again. But for forensics, that is the best because of it helps us to you already bypass one security layer, so thus leave us to the next security layer, extract the whole data out from the phone which already been rooted. Remember, phone who are been rooted, you can always access a full physical. If let's say we are talking about the previous process of extraction, when the phone is already rooted, we can not only rely on logical analysis, we can always do a full complete hash dump and we can analyze all your deleted data and the rest of other things. So that is actually one of a good practice for forensic investigator to actually do with that. Thank you. Okay, I think we are lack of time, but I will be around. If you have any question, you can always stop me. Before that, also I would like to actually share one question. And you can always answer it via Twitter like Miss MC already highlighted just now. So list the 3 general sources of evidence for mobile investigation. I just repeat, list the 3 general sources of evidence for mobile investigation. So please tweet to the instruction given, and then with that, thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.